Hello everybody, the Destroyer here, and welcome back to another cast of the Rise of the Witch King, patch 2.02, version 5.0.1. Today we have a 2v2 on Tournament Rohan. And I was in this game. This is me, Destroyer, right there, as Mordor in the bottom left. My teammate today is Belsebub as Mordor in the bottom right. So we have a double Mordor going on here, which we got randomly, which is pretty cool. And then our opposing team is Bobpower. He is Isengard there. And his ally is DreadReapr as the Elves. So we have Elf and an Eisen versus two Mordors. And we do see Eisen using his Creebind to spy here. Getting some info on us. So Belsebub is opening with two Orc Pits. After two farms there. So we'll have plenty of Orcs on the field. I have gone for 3 slaughterhouses, and then I started going for a Rohan Palace to get some Easterlings. That's what Belsebub suggested to me. So not a start I would normally do, but he said, yeah, you should go pikes. I was like, okay, sure, why not? He knows better than me, so I did what he said. DreadReapr is going 3 trees, it looks like 4 trees even, and then he's going into a barracks here. So he'll be getting some Mythlon Sentries, looks like. He's getting Mythlon Sentries undoubtedly because he saw I was making a Rohan Palace. Probably assuming I'm going to go for cavalry, which I was not. But I could have transferred into that later on, as it is the same building. And we have, of course, for Bobpower, he has some Uruk-hai swordsmen coming out of his Uruk pit here, after getting a few slaughterhouses, or furnaces rather, those aren't slaughterhouses. And now we have 2 orcs coming across the field for Belsebub. And he has some orc archers queued up and some orc warriors. So we'll have plenty of guys coming out. Looks like he's throwing down another orc pit. This is really the way you want to play Mordor, just get tons of orc pits, get orcs flowing out of your place. That's really what I probably should have done, to be honest. As you'll see in this game, I did have a bit of issue. We have our first battalion of Mythlon Sentries out in the field here. Looks like I'm going to go creep the Warglare. I did see them on my way over. I decided to pass them by to try and do a little economic damage to DreadReapr. DreadReapr does have some swordsmen though, which are quite strong of course against Easterlings. Very strong in fact. And we have Belsebub sending some guys to the back of DreadReapr's base, so he's helping me double him, while meanwhile keeping some guys at Bobpower's area as well to keep him under control. Bobpower, of course, is not sitting back doing nothing. He is sending some Uruk-hai swordsmen into the back of the base of Belsebub here. We're going to do a little damage. Unfortunately, he is caught by some archers and orcs, but he's cutting through the orcs like butter. The archers don't do too much when the guys are in shield stance and hold ground stance. Looks like I do get a tree there. I think he canceled that one though. But at least causing him to cancel them still is a win in our book. I did throw down a tainted land there. That's the power I chose. I thought about it long and hard, and then I decided I want to go down that power tree, so I chose tainted land. And I'm continuing to send Easterlings in, which isn't really doing me much good. They do more building damage though. So when they actually do get to hit, they do more damage, but it is more costly as you would expect. But I'm being raided right now by some Mythlon Sentries from DreadReapr. He's going to get this slaughterhouse, no doubt. Looks like these guys are rally called as well. I do have some Easterlings and Orcs ready to intercept when that goes down, though. Fortunately, I did not cancel that, so I didn't get the money or any money back from it. Continue to get more Easterlings, and I do have an Orc pit here, so I am getting some Orcs, which helps. But, of course, I'm not able to do much to the Elves. I always have issues against Elves with Mordor, usually. Most of the time. This specific day, I had played a couple games against Elves as Mordor, and it did not go well any of the times. One of them being a 2v2v2v2. I was the first one killed, as you would expect. I didn't stay for that whole game, so I didn't get that replay, because that would have taken ages. It was a long game. But anyway, I'm way off topic. We have orcs from Belsebub here, all getting trampled up pretty clumped up there. Warg Rider's doing a good job. Bobpower going for the Warg Rider. Good counter to the Orc Warrior, as you would expect. Able to trample them down easily. He's also got crossbows. And got some pikes there as well. As you see, I don't have much in the way of anything. He's overpowering all my Orc Warriors. He's overpowering my Ishtalings. And I'm having issues defending myself. And I will lose another slaughterhouse here. Which seems to be a recurring theme for me. Happens to me a lot. I'm chasing down a few of these Mithlond Sentries and Swordsmen, though, with my guys. Of course, his Swordsman will defeat all of those. Well, meanwhile, Belsebub's continuing to pump out Orcs. Something he seems to do very well. He just keeps the Orcs flowing out of his area. Of course, he does have some Haradrim Lancers as well. Which, of course, is a great addition to his army. And he's continuing to harass my opponent. Really, this is a look how this game is a look how good Belsebub is kind of game. Because he basically fought both of these players, and I kind of did some things here and there, but I was really losing most of the game. It tends to happen to me a lot, but I thought it was worth casting anyway. If not, just to stroke Belsebub's ego for once, or more than once. I've done it many times. Most of the games I cast with him in it show him doing pretty well. Turns out. DreadReapr did very good though. DreadReapr is a good player. And he was being doubled for most of the game, so I thought he's doing pretty well. Orc Archers trying to fight his Lorien Archers. Unfortunately, Orc Archers get wrecked by Lorien Archers, as you see there. Killed a few of them though. And meanwhile, I got my Ishtalings around trying to take this tree down. Looks like I will succeed. I am standing on the tainted land I threw down earlier, which is helpful. Trying to cripple my opponent's economy as much as I can, even though mine is kind of crippled. There's a gigantic blob of Mordor troops from Belsebub over here in the back of Bobpower's base. He does have 2 battalions of Warg Riders though. If Belsebub isn't careful, he could lose a lot of troops here. So he really needs to keep those Ishtalings in right in the center of the army if he can. Meanwhile, Belsebub's sending another very large group out. Doesn't look like he's engaged yet, but he is being chased down by crossbows. So he needs to keep moving there. Meanwhile, DreadReapr's pushing in on me. While I capture the signal fire there. I do have a couple barricade expansions. I tend to throw these up when I feel threatened. I'm like, I could build more troops, I could throw a barricade expansion up and keep them away from the barracks. That was my thought process. It's not a bad thought process, but who knows. For the price of a barricade expansion, I believe you could get a orc pit and get a battalion of orcs out. Is that better than a barricade expansion? Probably not, actually. Not for defense, as this barricade expansion will kill many more guys than a battalion of orcs would. But if you have enough of them, they will do some damage. As you see there, Orc Warriors don't do very much to Lorien Warriors. Lorien Warriors are very, very good against Orc Warriors. That is something Elves early game has going for them, in fact. I just had a discussion about how weak Elves are early game, which is fair, but at the same time, they're not really, I feel. Against Mordor, they're incredible. They cut down Orc Warriors easily. I think they even cut down the Gundabad Warriors pretty easily. Goblins is a different story. They cut them down, but they still take a lot of damage because the Goblins are just high damage output. But you do have to be careful with your Elven troops because your economy is crappy. Elves do have the crappiest economy because they have expensive troops and no buffing structures or powers for their economy. So, that's something you have to deal with when you play Elves, of course. And as you see here, I'm sitting back doing pretty much nothing. I'm kind of crippled. I don't think I have any slaughterhouses at this point. Well, I have one there. Yeah, I'm sitting on one slaughterhouse. I'm at 300 command point limit, where Belsebub is at 700. So he has many more farms than me. DreadReapr is at 550. And we have 425 for Bobpower. So he's not doing too much better than me, but he does have an economy of some kind at least. And he's continuing to fend off attacks from Belsebub, who is sending some Easterlings in here. Will he get this Uruk pit? No, just barely. Doesn't manage to grab it. Unfortunate. Meanwhile, he does have another flood of guys coming in from the south, and another large group going in here. These large groups of orcs with 1 battalion of Easterlings is actually pretty effective, because it's enough to counteract the Warg Riders, or any cavalry in general. Looks like he's coming around with some Rodrum Lancers there, although they're being chased down by Warg Riders. I do have a small defense force here, but nothing much to speak of. I'll begin picking away at these guys. Of course, throwing the eye back down on my guys, not the enemy. DreadReapr has a few battalions of Lorien archers, as well as some pikes here. A couple of battalions of pikes. He's sitting on 2 barracks right now. He's going for a green pasture, which is a good choice here. Well, kind of. It deals with Orc Warriors good. Obviously, it won't deal with the Easterlings at all. Unless he decides to go for the Linden Horse Archers. Then that's a different story. Can't remember if he did that or not. I did play this game earlier today, but I'm not going to spoil it even if I did remember. Belsebub has a Mumakil pen. He's getting a Mumik right to now. Continue to get hordes and hordes of units out as well. He's got lumber mills going also, helping him fuel his fires. Not the actual power, but just fuel his economy, I guess I should have said. DreadReapr's force is getting fairly sizable. He's got, what, 3 battalions technically of archers. This banner carrier will grow back into a battalion. And he's got 2 battalions of Mithril Sentries, 2 battalions of Swordsmen, actually 3 battalions of Mithril Sentries if you count that one guy. I don't know if I would. He doesn't have a banner. Belsebub's gone for the barricade expansion. He's thrown it down here. Looks like there's a Wildman summon as well. Barricade expansion are incredibly useful. If you throw them down in a key position, they will hold it fairly well, especially when you support it with troops. I used it as a stationing point for my troops quite frequently through this game when Belsebub would throw those down, because they're just very nice. Very nice to hide behind. We have a wall hub being thrown in by Bobpower, possibly going for a wall, or possibly just to save his builder from being killed. Either way is an option here. Sharku is level 4 here. He is very close to death as well. He has to be very careful. He's trying desperately to save his stuff here, but having an issue, which is fair. And he did actually go for Linden Horse Archers, so DreadReapr's gone for the Horse Archer guys. Very strong units. Of course, they can pick off the orcs and the pikemen from range while still being able to move fairly quickly. And they can trample if they want to, but of course they won't want to trample until they pick off the Easterlings, which, as you see, they do decent damage to them. They're not incredibly overpowered against them, but they do pick them off. We only have a little battle here. I've sent a couple battalions of orcs, it looks like. They will be picked off fairly easily. I'm not doing very well, as you see here. At this point, I think Belsebub was like, "Where's your army?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have one. I don't have any money." So I think he started siphoning me a little bit of money here and there. We have an eagle summon, though, from DreadReapr, who's continuing to get a lot of power points, as you see. And those will be very useful for defending. We have Barrage from Belsebub, Barricade, and Tainted Land, so Barrage will be coming down soon enough. He's sitting at 84 of 750 command points, so his army is non-existent at the moment, pretty much. My army is at 60 of 450, pretty much non-existent, and I have Eye of Sauron, Tainted Land, 6 power point remaining. There's the other eagle. And let's see, what else we got? We have Tom Bombadil, we have Summon Eagles, we have Heal, Rally Call, Farsight, and 1 power point, 7160 or 600 command points for DreadReapr. And Bobpower has himself Tainted Land, Wildman, Vision of the Palantir, and Creebane, and 326 of 575 command points. So DreadReapr definitely pulling ahead in the PowerPoint front, but so is Belsebub, as he does have a 15 as well. So both of those players will be doing fairly well, or are doing fairly well, I'd say. Although Bobpower has a fair amount of power points as well, actually. Now that I think about it. He's got 10, a 5, a 5, and a 5. As where Belsebub has a 10, a 15, and a 5. And I only have 10 total. So, and then of course we have the 10 and the 15 there, and 3 5s for DreadReapr. Looks like Belsebub's captured this inn. Will he use it to buy Corsairs of Umbar? Not a bad choice. Corsairs of Umbar are pretty good. Of course, from the inn they are 300. So that's not too shabby. Looks like Tom Bombadil helping the defense of Bobpower's base. Dancing his way over here. Going for a Sonic Song. Bit of a weak Sonic Song. Didn't hit too much. As tends to happen with a lot of Sonic Songs. They will miss their target quite frequently. Looks like I'm starting to get an army now, though. Let's go back to observing all players. And like I said, I was using this as a staging point because I could stage my guys behind it while the elves wouldn't really dare push behind it without some sort of way to break it. I also put an orc pit out here because my base kept getting raided. But now my base is fairly set up well. I have 4 orc pits, so I can start spamming orcs pretty frivolously. I also have my Rohan Palace still intact. And a few farms here and there, which is good. So I'm kind of back in the game, but still DreadReapr has a stronger army than me, as you expect. He has these elves, and he has level 5 archers as well, which is never good. And Mirkwood's now on the field. Does he still have his lindens? Yes, he does. He's using his lindens to help out his ally, who's being attacked by Mumakil. So that's never a good thing. Will Belsebub get a nice charge off on the... Oh, no. DreadReapr splitting up his lindens. Good play there. As if he would have charged, he would have killed all those lindens. So always want to split up your guys if you can against a Mumakil to cut your casualties down a bit. As you see there, he gets a nice charge off on one of the Giant's lindens, though actually wipes it out completely. Falls down on top of the Mirkwoods, who doesn't take too much damage. Just throwing down a barricade expansion there. And now Bobpower's in a lot of trouble. His furnace level 3 in the front is about to go down. That's unfortunate. And there's still more guys flooding out of Belsebub's area, and I also have a fairly sizable force of guys as well. Not very strong, but it is there nonetheless. I'm sending them towards Bobpower's base, because I haven't done too much against or haven't done too much to stop DreadReapr, so I figured I'd go help with the DreadReapr troops. Although I am getting wrecked in the process, because Mirkwoods are absolute demons. Really, as an elf, you want to go for Mirkwoods like as quickly as possible, it feels like. They're just so good. And of course, Noldors when you get the chance. Noldors are incredible. The range of a Noldor is insane. They have such range. I have a Wildman summon in the back of my base. Maybe I should take off a farm there. You have a barricade expansion, though. Actually, a couple of them. I have 3 of them now, and I also got this Gatewatcher expansion to protect my siege works, which I got to level 2. I'm going to start getting some catapults out in the field. That was my answer to elves. Really is catapults. That's the way you deal with elves. The best way to deal with elves, I guess. Black Riders as well, also helpful. Of course, I didn't go for any of those, but they are very good against Mirkwoods and Lorien archers. And swordsmen even. Anything without a pointy stick, pretty much. Although if they get burst down by archers, they will fall fairly quickly. Mumakil doing good damage. Getting a nice hit off there on these guys. Easily finishing them off. Mirkwoods, though, being microed around, trying to take down the Mumakil, and they do good damage. If left unchecked, the Mirkwoods will destroy a Mumakil easily, as you see there. Let's go back over here. Bobpower has to face another horde of orcs. A new horde of orcs, one might say. Of course, there's a battalion of Easterlings in there, 2 of them actually, but you get the idea. I just want to say a new horde of orcs, okay? I love it. And Belsebub's also going for catapults here. So he's going for Mumakil, catapults, and then just spam. It's really, really good tactic. Seems to work fairly well I've got my first catapult on the field as well. So I'll begin moving that out there. Continue to get orcs and send them across. I'm trying to help out Belsebub finish off Bobpower so we can kill DreadReapr off. Because I know if I attack DreadReapr, I'll just fail. So I figured might as well help DreadReapr, or help Belsebub take out Bobpower the best I can, and possibly hold off DreadReapr from stopping him from saving his ally. That was my idea. Can't say it went well, as you see all my guys died in archers on the way over. I got a few guys in here. Actually, I got a fair amount in here. And now Bobpower is in a lot of trouble. He's also got orcs from Belsebub in the back of his base as well. Belsebub throwing down a barricade expansion. There's a lot of Merkwoods here though. And Belsebub leaving all his troops clumped up. He did get hit by the Watcher. I remember he remarked on that. He's like, oop, I left all my guys clumped. And indeed he did. The Watcher completely destroyed his army. Fortunately for him though, he is Mordor. Another army's on the way. That is the power of Mordor. And his catapults continue to do good damage. Actually, they take a lot of health from the furnace. He should take that out in the next shot and easily be able to move on. Belsebub though throwing down a Balrog. He also has barrage ready to be used, so he can throw it down on the Elven army if he needs to. I think he'll need to use it on the base of Bobpower. Not at this point. Looks like I've got the barricade expansion as well. That's the reason I chose Tainted Land, because it leads to the barricade expansion. And I think that's just very good power. And now he's getting a lot of guys surrounding the base. I've got guys on the way in as well. As you see there, I used my catapult to switch my ammunition to scare him off. It fires skulls. I threw down my barricade to try and slow down the army of DreadReapr from reaching his ally. I think I succeeded in that part. Although he has summoned eagles here. They should take down this movement kill fairly easily, and this catapult if they target it down. Catapult is now, well, it should have been hitting the fort. 2 eagles don't kill a catapult in 1 hit? What the shit? That's weird. Apparently I'm observing the elves here. Actually, let's go back to the elves real quick. Ah, that's right, he has summoned Ents. I remember where he put them. Right here. I didn't actually see how well they did though. He summoned the Ents and immediately went for the fort. Started doing good damage. I noticed immediately and sent my catapult over. I don't know if that got there in time or not, because I just sent to attack move and then I went back to the Battle of North. But I guess a movement kill and a bunch of guys here should take out these Ents fairly quickly. The pikemen are really what's going to do it. Will this hit? Oh, that catapult actually did a lot of damage to that Ent. So I helped. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll take credit where credit's due. I have no shame. And now Bobpower has very, very little left. He has a fortress, and I believe that is it. And it looks like I do still have a catapult here. The only thing trying to kill it down are Merkwoods without Silverthorns. They're not going to be able to cut it. Oh, Bobpower does manage to save his fort, though, but Belsebub does have some guys over here. And they should clean up his fortress with ease. Of course, another movement kill and a ton of orc span on the way. DreadReapr's fort now being attacked as well. Belsebub throwing out a big attack. Looks like we have summoned Wildman from Bobpower, trying to help his ally out. He does take that barricade expansion down. Although there are Easterlings and orcs around the fort, so will he manage to stop him in time? Bobpower has been defeated, and then DreadReapr quits out there. And that is the game. So yeah, pretty. It wasn't really one-sided, but it was kind of one-sided, I'll admit. But still, I thought it was an enjoyable game. And I just thought not DreadReapr. I mean, DreadReapr did great, but I thought Belsebub did amazing. That's really why I wanted to just show how crazy Mordor can be, really. I thought it was interesting. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next cast of the Rise of the Witch King patch 2.02. See you guys next time.